Hey everyone, and welcome back to a new video. Today we're talking about the 2019 to 2021 Subaru WRX STI and why it is so special. If you watch my previous videos, you know that I'm somewhat of a Subaru fanboy, and as such, I was devastated along with many other Subaru fanboys out there when the Subaru WRX STI was discontinued after the 2021 model year. And instead, we got the plastic face. But do watch my video to find out why I think the 2022 WRX is actually a pretty good car. Before we dive into the 2019 to 2021 STI, let's go back in time to see where the STI originated from and to where it is now. How much has changed, and more importantly, how much hasn't. The Subaru WRX STI has been around since 1994, with the GC8 chassis tearing up the streets of Japan with a turbocharged EJ20. However, the North American market didn't get that. Instead, it got a 2002 WRX with the EJ205, with the iconic headlights giving it the Bug Eye nickname. The STI wasn't introduced in North America until 2004 with the release of the Blob Eye STI. This car came with the EJ257, pushing 300 horsepower and 300 torque, mated to a 6-speed manual transmission. This engine was focused more on torque and specifically produced for the North American market, but in reality though, we all would have loved it if they just threw in a version 7 EJ207 and called it a day. Regardless, the EJ257 was the most powerful 4-cylinder engine back in 2004 and Subaru knew it, so they produced ads like this. So let's take a second to appreciate this ad. So they note 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.6 seconds, which is faster than the STI of late, 60 to 0 miles per hour in 111 feet, and on the right side they just note all of the supercars that this is faster than in both those categories. Absolutely insane. 10 out of 10 Subaru marketing. What has happened to it now? In addition, the 2004 STI got a specifically tuned suspension by Subaru Technica International themselves, and also the introduction of the DCCD, the Driver Controlled Center Differential, which allows the driver to modulate the amount of torque from the front and rear wheels so you can do mad skids like this. Along with the introduction of the 2004 STI was the release of the Cobb Access Port version 1, the handheld ECU programmer that could download tunes directly off the internet. Back then, this was next level stuff. I believe this was the huge catalyst for the aftermarket community that we know today. Second to only, of course, Fast and Furious. Since then, the STI has been a popular tuner car for many, with the 2007 to 2008 Hawkeye generation, the 2009 to 2014 generation introducing the hatchback body style, and the final generation, the 2015 to 2021 STI. The 2015 to 2017 STI wasn't too different from the previous generation. There were some chassis changes to improve overall stability. Otherwise, the car just got a little bit bigger with the new styling changes. In 2018, the car got a refresh, starting off with a restyled front bumper, eliminating the fog lights, which is a bit of a bummer, but overall I think the front end looked meaner in my opinion. For mechanical changes, Subaru changed to a completely electronic differential, which improved overall handling. The front brakes were also changed. Not only that they were radioactive yellow, they sized up from a 4-pot to a 6-pot, which is pretty awesome. I don't know what I like more, the bronze color from the GD chassis or the radioactive color. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Now for the 2019 to 2021 STI. In terms of styling, it's identical as the 2018 STI, but actually a side note on the styling. So if you got the base, you got no wing. If you got the sport or premium, you got the big wing. Or if you got the sport tech or limited, you get the option of the big wing or the lip spoiler from the WRX. So what are you guys into? You want the big wing, no wing, or the mini wing? Let me know in the comments as well. One more thing to note, in 2018, Subaru released the Type RA STI, which is a limited edition version of the STI, which came with a carbon hood, the GT wing, revised third gear, improved intake and exhaust system, and revised pistons, and an overall output of the engine went up 5 horsepower. The reason why I brought up the Type RA is because the 2019 to 2021 STI received the same engine improvements, and when I found that out, I wanted to look into it a little bit more, because the EJ257 is known to be a little bit temperamental to say the least. In terms of updated engine internals, there is a little bit more material supporting the wrist pin, which should translate to a more rigid piston. I know this is a little bit underwhelming for a 5 horsepower bump, but I've seen this version of the EJ257 making 350 wheel horsepower pretty reliably, and there are many tuners out there that are mentioning that this version of the EJ257 is making more stock horsepower than previous generations. Now you might be thinking, okay, these changes are good, but overall the car hasn't changed much at all. And that's kind of the reason why it's so special. Subaru took the last refresh in the 2019 to 2021 STI, and they gave us better brakes, supposedly better pistons, and they continued the electronic diff from the 2018 STI. They took the tried and true recipe of the STI for the past 3 decades, and they just added a little bit more spice without ruining the taste. Subaru already had the 2022 WRX on the way, and this car is way more refined, makes more horsepower, more attainable and practical for the car enthusiast. Subaru didn't need to fix the 2019 to 2021 STI. They just gave it a whole bunch of enhancements for a proper send-off. If you've ever driven an STI, you notice how mechanical everything is. The steering is hydraulic. You feel everything on the road. The sound insulation is terrible. You hear rattles in the trim. The transmission whine is loud. It's bare bones. It's visceral. But most importantly, it's so much fun to drive. The turbo lag has so much drama, it forces you to rev it out and keep you on your toes to ensure the turbo is always on boil. It keeps the driving experience engaging, fun, and old school. The sound is nothing like you've ever heard before. The unequal length headers just make it this rhythmic thump that is unmistakable for the Subi rumble. Here, take a listen. The STI compared to the new performance cars of today is super archaic, but that's what makes it an awesome car to own and drive. The imperfections of the Subaru WRX STI is what makes it the perfect platform to start modifying and make it truly unique and tailored to what you want. If you're on the fence of buying one, just go out and get it, because just like all old school cars, they are appreciating in value and becoming more and more unattainable. And the Subi is going to be a collector's item for sure. Anyways friends, that's it for this video. Please like and subscribe if you did enjoy this video. I'll see you all on the next one. Take care.